So behind me is our injection molding bay number 1. So I'm going to give you a quick scan of what it looks like back here.
One way factories make product parts is by melting materials such as metal, rubber, or plastic, then pouring or injecting them into molds. To make a plastic part for a product, the manufacturer has to first commission a mold-making company to design and produce a plastic injection mold. The mold begins as bars of chromium steel. Workers assemble several bars into a block called a mold base. They mount this base on a milling machine, which shaves the bars to the right dimension, enabling them to later machine the base into a mold that's faithful to the technical design. A mold usually consists of 2 halves, each of which is comprised of several components. A grinder now goes to work smoothing and leveling all surfaces. This prepares the base for the high-precision machining operations that will transform it into a mold component. A computer-guided tooling machine called the CNC slowly machines the base, wearing away the steel particle by particle to create the mold component's shape. This one, part of a mold for the plastic rim around a snowmobile's front headlight, takes 20 hours to complete. From here, most mold components go on to a second tooling machine, especially if they have some fine detailing that this CNC machine is incapable of carving. The second machine is outfitted with a copper electrode in the shape of the plastic part, in this case a snowmobile oil gauge. The electrode goes face down on the second tooling machine called the EDM. Directly underneath is the mold half that's already been partially formed on the first machine. A strong electric current runs through the electrode and penetrates the mold, forming a cavity in the shape of the electrode. After tooling, they drill coolant lines. This is for the cooling fluid they'll use to accelerate the hardening of the molten plastic. Here's what the 2 halves of a finished mold look like. The pins and bushings fit together to close the mold before injecting the hot liquid plastic. Once the plastic cools and hardens, it's just a matter of extracting the molded plastic part.
So this is our Engel. It's a German injection molding press. And this is our first injection molding bay, and this is our second press back here. Also an Engel. We gotta get this cleaned up, sorry. And our third So this is the aerial view of our injection molding bay number 1, so taken from the loft. So I wanted to give you a clear idea of what our workspace looks like, where we are. And now let's move on to bay number 2. And now let's move on to injection molding press bay number 2.